The International Newsnet World Report is a national television news show available in more than 30 million homes. We broadcast daily real news the networks won't tell you. We are solely viewer-supported. That means you. You can donate at our website, INNWorldReport.net. We hope you find the following interview informative and helpful.
Thousands of Palestinians turned out to form a human chain that was set to stretch from the southern to the northern crossing points in the Gaza Strip Monday. Mostly women and children participated in the peaceful demonstration, and less than the expected 40,000 people attended. Demonstrators carried banners in Arabic and English pleading, "Save Gaza," and "The world has condemned Gaza to death." The pro-Hamas Popular Committee Against the Siege was responsible for organizing the protest. To tell us more, we're joined by Amir Abu Sada, who is a professor of political science at Al-Azhar University in Gaza. Welcome to the International Newsnet.
It's a pleasure to be with you, sir.
This protest was different. It was mostly women and children. And tell us a little about what you saw today.
Well, what happened was very much planned and orchestrated by Hamas for the past several days. Hamas has been trying to raise some public opinion, especially Arab and international public opinion, and grab their attention to the sanction and siege against the Palestinians in the Gaza Strip. The situation has been deteriorating over the past weeks and days. There are shortages of fuel, shortages of electricity, and some necessary commodities here in the Gaza Strip. Anyway, so Hamas is basically is trying to grab international public opinion to the situation here in the Gaza Strip. So they decided to have a human chain all the way from the north side of the Gaza Strip to the south of the Gaza Strip, which is about 40 kilometers, all the way from the north to the south. Mainly it was school children who were vacated from their classrooms to go and participate in this human chain, and many women and civilians participated in this human chain in the early morning hours of the day.
This protest, this is part of Hamas's tactics. Is Hamas remaining popular in Gaza as Israel clamps down?
Well, this is a very tough issue here. The Palestinians are very much divided between Hamas and Fatah and other smaller Palestinian groups and forces. Anyway, it's not really clear to see whether Hamas has lost some of its popularity in the Gaza Strip. But what I can say is that after 8 months since the Hamas takeover of the Gaza Strip, the situation here has deteriorated to a very dangerous levels in which many Palestinians have been questioning the positives of Hamas taking over the Gaza Strip. Many Palestinians are suffering as a result of the Hamas takeover and as a result of the sanctions which have imposed against the Gaza Strip and against Hamas as a result of Hamas takes over the Gaza Strip. I can say that some of the Palestinians, a good number of the Palestinians, are very unhappy. Well, what I can say is the overwhelming majority of the Palestinians are basically tired of sanctions, tired of the siege which have been imposed on them. But some of the Palestinians blame Hamas for the sanctions, and many of Hamas supporters basically blame Israel and the international community for the sanctions. But anyway, I would say that, as I mentioned, that the Palestinians are very much divided. Yes, Hamas lost some of its support as a result of its takeover of the Gaza Strip and as a result of the deteriorating situation over the past weeks and days.
This protest was peaceful. We hear there were several arrests, but there was no violence accompanying the protest. Is this going to be a new pattern of Hamas trying to win over more popular support from the Mideast?
I hope so. Many of the Palestinians have been asking over the past years that we need to stop using military tactics and tools against the Israeli occupation because the result of suicide bombings and launching missiles from the Gaza Strip basically resulted in very severe measures from the Israeli occupation, and many Palestinians have been asking that we need to change our tools, to change the methods of the resistance against the occupation, so that we should stress non-violent measures and peaceful methods to fight the Israeli occupation. But it doesn't seem to me that Hamas is going to go ahead with these tactics, because Hamas has claimed responsibility for a number of missiles which have been launched from the Gaza Strip against Israel today, and many Palestinian resistance groups also claim responsibility for other attacks against Israel today. I believe that this is only one of the tactics that is going to be used by Hamas in the coming days and weeks to put an end to the siege and sanctions. But it doesn't seem to me that Hamas is going to give up on suicide bombings and launching missiles and use tactics of non-violent methods. That doesn't seem the case right now.
Professor Abu Saad, I'm afraid we'll have to leave it there for today, and thank you for joining us in the International Newsnet.
It's a pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
The bank Julius Baer and Company of Switzerland convinced a San Francisco federal judge to shut down Wikileaks.org, a U.S. website for posting internal documents accusing their Cayman Islands branch of money laundering and tax evasion involving U.S. and foreign investors. This is a first for the U.S. First Amendment. Representatives from WikiLeaks did not appear in court, and an order was given to the site's host to take the site down. Mirror copies of the website immediately sprouted like weeds around the globe. The site Wikileaks.org claims to have posted 1.2 million leaked government and corporate documents that it says expose unethical behavior, including a 2003 operation manual for the U.S. prison at Guantanamo Bay. Its anonymous operators are taking the high road and still posting. To tell us more, we're joined by Jim Naurekas of Fairness and Accuracy in Reporting. Welcome to the show, Jim.
Thanks for having me on.
Jim, this was a first. Let's begin here.
Yeah, it's really remarkable for a media outlet to be shut down by judicial order in an effort to prevent information from being disseminated. It's really it can really only be described as a draconian step on the part of the judge.
The court went after the server or the host. Now, how is this organized, and how did this come about?
Well, the bank, Julius Baer, in an effort to get back these documents, which a former employee had leaked out to WikiLeaks, that went to Dynadot, who is the host of Wikileaks.org, and basically threatened to sue and worked out this agreement in order to prevent a lawsuit. And the judge sort of signed off on this deal that resulted in a death penalty for WikiLeaks. At least that was the intention. Of course, as the bank has found out, it's not that easy to suppress information once it's been out on the internet. And the website, though it's been kept off its original URL, the website is still available, including at wikileaks.la, if you're interested in taking a look at it.
Well, let's talk about the original charges by Julius Baer. The laws in this country are not like the laws in England. We know in England there are slander laws. Is Julius Baer citing that the information is incorrect or that it has been released in a slanderous fashion? What is the nature of the charge that they're going after, and how does the laws in their country translate to the laws in our country to make this a crime?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a Swiss bank, but it's the branch is in the Cayman Islands, which is a notorious banking haven, and then it's taking the case into the United States because the